Welcome to Martial Arts Explorer. I'm Scott Combs. In this series, we explore functional self-defense techniques as derived from classical forms of all styles. We use three terms when interpreting classical forms: bunkai, oyo, and shorthand. A bunkai interpretation is one that precisely follows the moves of the form. An oyo interpretation generally follows the moves of the form. Some moves might be out of sequence, or they might be left out altogether. In shorthand, one or two moves from the form implies several others that you'd use in a self-defense technique. These three terms allow flexibility of interpretation, which allow the individual martial artist to tailor their self-defense techniques to their individual needs. That's what we're all about. Today you'll see an example of bunkai. Michael demonstrates a technique that exactly follows the moves of the form. Let's check it out.
Thanks, Scott. Looking today at forms and how we interpret them, all right? How do you make sense of all those different moves? Everybody sees a lot of wild things when they start to look at their own forms, and some of them don't always make sense, and sometimes the explanations are given are just too simple. So that's what we look at here, is what can we do with what we're presented? We're going to start to look at one of our katas, or forms as we call them. It's called Nahanchi Shodan. It's an older form and there's a lot of variations. So don't focus on the variations, just focus on the different ideas that you can get from them. The beginning of our form start off, hands together, we drop down, and all we're going to do is cross step over and begin to reach out. And I'm just going to show you that much because the form doesn't actually matter, we're just looking at moves. So in your own forms, try and find things that are similar and just match them up that you can make work in a similar manner. Jordan's going to come in and join me, and we're going to start to look at how we put this all together. My first motion here, I'm going to call this a grab, all right, or a reaction to his grabbing, actually. He reaches in with the lead hand, and he's coming in towards my chest. All I'm going to do is take both hands, I capture it, all right? I like to use both hands and make sure I don't miss. If I come up this way and reach one hand, I have pretty good luck, but if I have two coming in, I can just sandwich it. This gets a lot easier fast. From here, all we're going to do is pin it down, and we use a technique called white crane nods its head, all right? A little bit from Kung Fu styles, and we're going to bend the fingers down. I get a little body reaction starting here. I'm going to twist it out, white crane twists its neck, and I start to get more reaction as he steps out from the pain that we're putting by stressing across the wrist and the arm. From there, we're going to work a takedown. So as I push him over, grab the back of the collar, push the back of the calf back, pull down and move him across my body. That was very slow and very easy going. Now what I want you to notice is how in general this looks like the form I'm doing. My hands come up and they move down. He reaches in and grabs. All right, it's my hands together. My hands move down next, they move down here. After that I was moving a cross step. As I cross away, I'm pulling his hands out while I step. I'm going to reach out and grab. The last part I'm adding, we like to put in takedowns. If I don't take someone down the ground, there's a good chance they could hit me back, or I might not be able to run away fast enough. So by bringing him across, I put him in a vulnerable position, I add my takedown. Just grab the collar, you can grab the shoulder, you grab the neck, doesn't really matter. I'm going to take the back of the knee, the back of the calf, push in, and pull across. All right? Real easy to see where I'm getting this from. We're just going to do it a little bit faster. He's going to reach in and grab, down, over, step, and pull across. Now from here, I can do whatever I want. I can throw additional strikes, or I can simply leave, and that's what we really want to be able to do. We want to be able to get out fast and quick and have something that's effective. As you work with a partner, that's one thing I want you to be aware of, is how well does it work? Does it work at all? If he reaches in to grab, and I do this, and nothing happens, we're not doing much, okay? Stop. Try it again, figure out what else you can do, or maybe this move doesn't work for you at all. This is one important step when you're doing your own interpretations, all right? If you find something, it looks really cool, but it doesn't work, throw it away, try something else. Looking at some of the small details on this, one thing that can help is I push his pinky behind his fingers. This stresses the hand and the wrist more. I push his pinky behind when I grab, squeeze the fingers tight, and pull down. Now I'm just trying to affect the fingers at the base of the knuckles here, and twist them back towards his body. Look for this response. The knees start to give and the shoulder starts to move because that starts to hurt. All right? This is one part. Some people may not react. Some people react when I twist sideways, and that's a bigger reaction. As I twist the wrist across his body, I get a different flex. So now I have two directions of flex, which makes it hurt more. So make sure you get that and keep yourself in balance. Don't reach him out and keep your body still. All right? Then I look at my takedowns, and there are other things you can do besides this cross and pull, but I like this cross and pull because it's quick and it's easy and it's built for me. Play with things on your own and see what they can do. Thanks, Jordan. So as a reminder, when you start to look at your different forms and how they go together, make sure the technique works. It's probably the most important thing you can get from doing your own interpretations. If you were told double blocks are fighting two different attackers, it's not likely because it doesn't really work to try and block out two kicks at the same time. Not that it can't, but it's just not real likely, all right? Look at those things when you start to do your own interpretations and see what you can figure out as you go. All right, guys, as you face your partners, we're working this white crane technique. One person reaches in. Make sure you reach a cross-hand move. It's much easier to do when you guys are doing this. You reach in cross-handed, bending that pinky behind, locking it down, twist to the inside, stretch them out, make them move across. Grab the collar, bring that back foot up, pop and pull, twist them back. All right, work on this a little bit. Pinky, twist towards the inside of the body. All right, expose this here. Get a collar or shoulder grab. Much easier to do that way. Because this way, instead of relying just on the leg, you've also got the shoulder pull too. Okay, pull them across. Okay. You're being too nice. Stretch them out farther. Pull them back more. There you go. Guys, slight modification, all right, and a couple reminders. Jordan, one, grab with both hands. Sometimes makes it easier, okay? This is easier to catch. You're not as likely to miss if you do both hands. Getting the pinky behind, everybody's doing that. One modification, as you twist and pull across, if you rotate it in, all right, so the fingers are pointing sideways and then roll towards the body, the pain comes on a little faster, all right? You can try that. Instead of keeping the fingers pointing up, which works, you can also roll them in and roll them down, all right? One extra thing you can do. When you go to do the kick takedown, so I've already applied it, moved them over this way, grab up top, okay? And then pull back, because that way I get the pull hard here. Instead of just doing this, and he sort of collapses, I want him to collapse, but I want to yank him backwards off his feet too. Thanks for joining us. We're going to jump back to Scott. Remember to practice safe and to have fun.
Remember, if you'd like to try this with a partner, use caution. You want to make it work, but you don't want to injure your friend. And we're not responsible for any injuries that may occur. We'd love to get your email. Send it to explorer@fullcirclemartialarts.org. For Martial Arts Explorer and Michael Kleinapir, I'm Scott Combs.